Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Alright guys, I had to start off with the good news on the first video, announcing that Cormier vs. Lewis is now going to be headlining Madison Square Garden. I don't got my applause button, but I think that is a big upgrade from the main event that was Shevchenko vs. Eubanks. But now, here's the bad news. It seems like the UFC had to scramble to put together Cormier-Lewis because Dustin Poirier is injured. And if the UFC would have announced that Poirier is out of this fight against Nate Diaz before putting together that main event, all hell would have, oh my lord, that would have been crazy. If we would have been like, what? Shevchenko versus Eubanks? Now we don't even have Diaz versus Poirier? Oh, people would have probably immediately refunded every single ticket. Every single ticket would have been refunded the moment this was announced. So, with that being said, the UFC really had to scramble and put together Cormier versus Lewis, although the date didn't work for Cormier, although it's going against Lewis's medical suspension. But Nate Diaz could still stay on the card. We got to cross our fingers and hope the warrior comes out of Nate Diaz, right? He's never pulled out of a fight. He's never been injured. Is Nate Diaz going to be willing to stay on this card and fight a Jorge Masvidal, who has offered to step up and take the fight? Or fight a Kevin Lee? Or fight anybody? Any of these lightweights that are willing to step up and save this card? Is Nate Diaz going to stay on the card? Now, he might not be motivated to fight a lesser opponent, someone that's not a #1 contender, somebody that's not a money fight. Dustin Poirier wasn't a money fight, but he's been out here actually fighting respectable fights, and Nate Diaz is a guy, not only does he consider the magnitude of the fight, right? This was a co-main event for Madison Square Garden. Not only does he consider that at this point of his career, but Nate Diaz also wants to fight a guy he respects. He respects Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier's been going out there and fighting guys, and it's a style that Nate Diaz respects. He doesn't respect dudes that like to wrestle fuck and just try and lay on you for a win. So Nate Diaz saw something he liked in Dustin Poirier in his fighting style, and that made him say, you know what, fucking respect, I'll fight Dustin Poirier. But now Dustin Poirier is injured, and on top of that, Dustin Poirier was a top contender, a #1 contender, so that was a little more motivation for Nate Diaz. If you beat Poirier, you're a #1 contender. But now Poirier is fucking injured, and I hate it, because I had a feeling that, honestly, I thought it was going to be Nate Diaz. I thought this fight was going to be scrapped, but I thought it was going to be a Nate Diaz thing. Not because I thought Nate Diaz would pull out of a fight or anything, because he doesn't do that. But he's already been a little, I don't want to use the word bitchy, but cranky, whatever, right? He's already almost pulled out of this fight twice. At the press conference when they announced McGregor versus Khabib, Nate Diaz was like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here. I don't even know if I'm fighting. Later on, he was like, 165 title, everybody, we're bringing it in. And then he said some shit like, oh, Dustin Poirier, you don't want to fight at 165, I'm not fighting. So that was the second time Nate Diaz threatened to not fight, and he ain't fought in 2 years, so I was like, damn, man. Is Nate Diaz selling us wolf tickets? Is he just trying to, you know what I'm saying, find a way out of this fight? Stay relevant a little? I don't know. I didn't know what was going on, but I felt like Nate Diaz had already, I wasn't holding my breath for this fight. I really loved this fight. I was hoping it would happen, but I was like literally like crossing my fingers, clenching my butt cheeks, like, is this shit gonna happen? And it's not. But it's Dustin Poirier is injured, and injuries fucking happen. Nobody protect from injure, in the wise words of Khabib. Nobody. You think you protect from injure? Nobody protect from injure. And Dustin Poirier is not protected from injure. And with that being said, now Nate Diaz is needing an opponent. Derek Lewis, who's going to be fighting in the main event against Daniel Cormier now, he had a 30-day medical suspension. Guess who else had a 30-day medical suspension? Conor McGregor. A lot of people are saying, yo, Conor versus Diaz. Perfect fucking timing. Holy shit. Nate Diaz was training for a fight. Dustin Poirier just fell out. We know Conor likes to step up on short notice. He was going to fight Edgar on short notice and all these other dudes he offered to step up behind the scenes. Now, the UFC wouldn't have proper time to promote Diaz McGregor 3 just because they need. I don't like the idea 100%. I mean, if everyone's just badasses and it was the old days where people just fought and they didn't need time to build fights, I would love to see McGregor step up and take this fight on short notice. But honestly, I figured that probably was going to be very unrealistic. But and John Kavanaugh took to Twitter shortly after, and he said, oh, I don't have the tweet, but I'll pull it up. But John Kavanaugh, he said, chill, guys. McGregor got a 30-day suspension. But what about Tony Ferguson stepping in? And that's when people replied to John Kavanaugh, and they said, yeah, but so did Derek Lewis. He was like, chill, guys. Conor can't fight. He's got a medical suspension. And they were like, Derek Lewis got the exact same amount of time. So, what's up, Conor? Now, Kavanaugh responded saying, you know, they're a little more worried about CTE and shit. Why did I type Josh Kavanaugh? What the fuck? He said they were worried about CTE, you know, with McGregor, about a fighter's long-term health and shit like that. So, you know, Kavanaugh, it doesn't seem like Kavanaugh is interested in this short notice fight. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said that he hinted at it, so I had to check out his Twitter, and that's what I saw. So, but he said, what about Tony Ferguson stepping in to fight Nate Diaz? I would assume Tony Ferguson also has a medical suspension because he got rocked. But he got rocked. I mean, Conor McGregor, he really only got, well, actually, he got punched up a couple times. He got dropped once, but Khabib actually did clip Conor up. How fucking crazy is that? Conor can't fucking fight because Khabib punched him in the face too much. Right? If Conor just got out-wrestled in this fight, if Conor just got out-wrestled and lost the decision, and then submitted, he could fight Diaz on short notice here. But the fact that Khabib outstruck him, Conor can't take this fight. The fact that Khabib rocked him on the feet. Oh, God, what are we doing? That's so crazy. So Kavanaugh saying medical suspension, and someone pointed out Derek Lewis has the same medical suspension, and he said, I wouldn't be in favor of more headshots so soon after. Got to think of the athlete's long-term health. So, you know, he took too many headshots from Khabib. Someone said Conor didn't seem to take that much damage, didn't seem stunned at all. Submitted by neck crank. Bisping fought after the GSP fight, didn't go his way. Conor's a different animal, coach. The damage from fighting, the real damage, is not visible until the late 40s or 50s. My nigga is trying to get Conor all the excuses he can off the top of his head, right? He probably ain't even asked Conor. He's just trying to spit him out there. Like, he's got to slow down, right? You got to ask the PR guys how to do this. You just give them a quick response, and they give you a counterpoint. He's like, sorry, guys, medical suspension. They're like, oh, yeah, but Derek Lewis was medically suspended. He's like, yeah, but too many headshots. So, like, Bisping fought soon after. Right? Conor's always willing to take shortness. He's a different animal. He's like, yeah, but, you know, Conor, we got to think about Conor when he's 40 and 50. What the fuck? Sorry, guys. I'm not with that one, but it is what it is. Yo, love the fight game. I love it, man. Thanks for the update. Happy to be a notorious MMA fan with a transparent coach by his side. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that would be amazing. Conor stepping up on short notice to fight Nate Diaz. And by the way, if he could win the fight, it would immediately erase the stink of losing to Khabib. People would still remember that, but boy, would they get over it if he came back to fight Diaz so soon. Boy, would they get over it. But I have a feeling, I just really think this is super unlikely. I just feel like the UFC would want a proper time to promote this fight, right? Diaz versus McGregor 3 is a fight you want press conferences for and shit. It's a fight that's a fight you actually might go on a two-stop world tour or something with. Like, that's a huge fight to just plug it in here, and this is a business, so I think it's got something to do with that. And you know, that is the reason when Conor offered to step up, and I honestly would not be surprised if tomorrow we get a headline, Conor McGregor wants to fight at Madison Square Garden, but the UFC won't let him or something like that, because the UFC has said that in the past. No, we didn't want Conor to step up because we didn't have proper time to build the fight. So there's definitely not proper time here to build this fight, but all I'm saying is Nate needs an opponent, and Conor just got out of a fight camp. So in a perfect world, that would be so fucking awesome for the UFC to plug it in. And just to be fair, man, yeah, Conor's a fucking complete badass. He's willing to step up and fight anybody, short notice, anywhere. That's something Dana touts, right? Like, you know, you got to be like McGregor. You got to be like Khabib. Those guys will really fight anyone, anywhere, any place. You know, like, like assigned to other fighters. You got to be ready. You got to be willing for these opportunities. And so, yeah, Conor is willing to step up and fight guys on short notice, but it's usually the UFC or his team or somebody, same with Darren Till, will protect him from himself. Darren Till wanted to fight Usman and this guy and this guy. Fuck, I don't care when I fight for the title. Give me Usman. And the UFC's like, nah, we got other plans for you, dog. I know you need an opponent for your main event, but Usman's not what you want. Usman is not what you want, Till. We got something else for you. So, you know, so yeah, these guys like McGregor and Till might be willing to step up, but if the UFC sees something in you, if there's business in you, pretty much, like, you know, Darren Till and Conor McGregor, they can do good business. So you want proper time to promote them. You don't want to give them the most risky fight if it doesn't make sense. Conor just took a very risky fight against Khabib, but it made sense. He's coming back for his belt. So it is what it is on this situation, but I don't think we'll get Conor in. Honestly, I think we got to cross our fingers and hope Nate stays on. Tony versus Nate would be amazing, but I would imagine if Conor's medically suspended, so is Tony, right? He got dropped, and his was probably more of a back-and-forth fight, even more strikes, definitely. But either way, man, all this shit broke out today. I just wanted to bring you guys this shit piece by piece. We'll cover it on the live show tomorrow. First of all, we had Daniel Cormier, Derek Lewis announces the main event. Now we're hearing Poirier is injured. But like I said, I got some more good news for you guys in the next video, because all of this does mean one more good thing. Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Valentina Shevchenko is back on. Let's fucking go. We got to look at the bright side of this shit, full-time family. The UFC is scrambling. We can't always make sense of this or always get what we want, but there is a motherfucking bright side, and we will find it. So with that being said, it is what it is, man. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. Make sure you check out the daily live shows every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Links in the description. More videos, full fight card breakdowns and predictions over on patreon.com/fulltimemma. We do a lot more stuff over there. And we post additional content. So check the links in the description. Fuck with your boy, man. We'll be right back. Grind continues. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments.
Bye, Felicia.